Month is very important to me because I feel in this country, as little Black children, we are not taught the full extent of the accomplishments that Black people have contributed to this country. So when we get this time during Black History Month to reflect on all the amazing things that Black people have done and the struggles that they have gone through and how they conquered them, it's empowering and very powerful, as today we are reliving some of these same unjust situations, and inspires me personally to fight for those that are victims of unjust policies at the moment.
Black History Month is a time to celebrate differences. While we all come from different places or look different, we're united by our humanity. Black History Month reminds us that all people are created equal and that we are afforded laws to protect our freedom of speech or religion. Black History Month reminds us that the Black experience was one of pain and intolerance, and it keeps us hopeful that as a nation we can continue to move past that towards a time of greater understanding and one of celebration.
Black History Month is important to me as a future African American dentist because it shows me that being a woman and being Black doesn't have to define me or limit my abilities. An example of this would be Mae Jemison, who was the first African American astronaut to go to the moon. If she would have let other people's opinions and limitations and resistance stop her, she would have never made it to the moon and reached her goals.
Black History Month is about celebrating the lives of the trailblazers who paved the way for folks like myself. Students striving to be servant leaders within the community, nation, and ultimately the globe. Leading with a social conscience and a global perspective to uplift and serve.
It is a time for our nation to celebrate the sacrifices and achievements of African Americans in the past, while also celebrating the achievements and success of African Americans today. I think of all of the positive role models that we have today, people like Michelle Obama and former President Barack Obama, and how they led our country with such grace and class and dignity. CEOs and executives and producers and entertainers such as Russell Simmons and Beyonce and Oprah Winfrey. And I think that there's something wonderful to be said about having such great role models.
It's the celebration of a beautiful struggle through history to challenge unfair stereotypes and assumptions within the African American community. And today it serves the purpose of recognizing that struggle and the fruits that it bore.
Giving voice to a people who did not have voice. 250 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow laws, that's 18 generations of African Americans who, through traditional history taught in grade schools and high school, did not have a voice. The victors, that's who we see history's perspective from. And Black History Month turns that on its head, and it honors and recognizes the heroic efforts and contributions of people who were here before my ancestors were ever here.
Black History Month is important to me because it's a time where I actively reflect on the contributions of African Americans and those of the African diaspora. Oftentimes I spend so much time focused on dentistry that this gives me a beautiful opportunity to venture beyond medicine and healthcare and think of the contributions of activists, teachers, artists, and the like.
Black History Month is a great example of people coming together and making a difference, and that's something that should be acknowledged every day.
Black History Month is important to me because there are so many great African American pioneers who fought for me to have equal rights and a fair chance at education. It is only right for me to celebrate those who paved the way for me.
As an Egyptian woman, I believe Black History Month is relevant to and imperative for every culture. And in celebrating it, we are connecting ourselves to the rich history of this nation and furthermore being inspired by it.
So the value I take away from Black History Month is compassion. Compassion for those who are marginalized on a daily basis and have to struggle with racism in almost every aspect of our modern society, whether that's in the classroom, in the street, or even in the office.
I believe Black History Month is very crucial for non-Black Americans because Black history is your history too. This country was built on all sorts of people's backs, white, Black, Asian, and the Black story spans back to the beginning of our country's creation, so it's very crucial for us to all know it.
I think this month has a lot of value for people not of color because it helps us all remember the monumental contributions and sacrifice of Black Americans to American society as a whole.
so much of the accomplishments of this country in terms of the industrial base, the agricultural base, is the direct result of African American labor. In addition to that, I mean, the contributions again to the entertainment world, to science, to technology, to education. As somebody who was brought up in the segregated 50s and 60s, the history that we learned for the most part was a history of white people completely devoid of the contributions that blacks made. Slavery was almost taught as an afterthought. So with Black History Month, it is a time that's devoted to celebrate, to recognize the contributions of African Americans for all people in this country.
I believe that there is a fine line between cultural appropriation and celebrating a culture. And Black History Month provides the outlet for others who don't identify as African American to celebrate Black culture rather than being offensive or appropriating the culture.
How would I describe Black History Month to a non-Black person? I would use a real-world example that was relatable. For example, Mother's Day. This is a day that we all celebrate the contributions of mothers because we all understand how essential they are to society. Similarly, Black History Month is an opportunity to reflect on the contributions of African Americans made through medicine, technology, entertainment, and their unyielding determination to thrive.
The value of Black History Month for non-Black people is it creates a progressive platform to remove biases and promote inclusivity, unity, and open-mindedness.
Resilience.
Empowering.
Courage.
Excellence.
Inspiring.
Perspective.
Resiliency.
Brilliance.
Wisdom.